ahead and just wait for that to occur. I'm going to pull up my phone real fast to see how many people are in.
Cool.
Alrighty, it looks like we got some people in. That's good. Perfect. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and just start, and then yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and chat, and then it should come up on my right hand side of the screen, and we'll answer it as we go along.
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. So thank you so much for being here, guys, on a Sunday at 3 p.m. Basically, I think it's actually 2:55 p.m. We started at 5 minutes earlier because we love you. But basically, 5 minutes earlier than 3. It's about 5:55 over there in the East Coast. Here's what I want to do. Is I want to introduce Paul Marvenko. He is a marketing professional in Clearwater, Florida. An amazing guy, super incredible. I invited him here to give us some more information about how a website can boom your purpose. Hi, Paul.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, dude, I love your title. It's so good.
It just fits you, man. Fits you perfectly.
Yeah, the boom your purpose. I really like that.
So let me give them some background data on what you and I have been working on so that they understand why I'm going to ask you some questions in relation to it so
Okay, good.
that we're not just like, hitting it off of nothing, I want
Yeah,
them to actually have some data.
I like it.
So the first thing is that Paul Marvenko and I were on some disaster response trips, right? And we had done a lot of stuff together. And when I brought up the point about truth and what I wanted to do with it and my books, he caught on and he wanted to help. And that was the coolest thing ever because I consider him one of my best friends. And for him to come out and go, you know what, I want to help you. Let's see what we can do about this. For him to do that for me, which was amazing, he was there for me. And then he said, hey, look, have you ever thought of starting a business, like a website, and really, and he'll go into more details about that in the interview. But I wanted to give you some background data on how I know Paul and why he's such a great person.
Dude, thanks, man.
Alrighty, so I have the first question for you, and that first question is, what exactly did you do for the Truth Movement as far as the outreach is concerned?
Sure. So basically, I came to you and I was like, "Hey, I know you're trying to promote this book." It was, I think, at the time I just knew about Truth About Apostates, and so yeah, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna help you promote this." And specifically, what I did to do that is, you were already selling the book on Amazon or selling the books on Amazon. So I said, "Hey, do you want your own website or your own point of distribution online?" Where you can basically get these products out to people like totally streamlined, no other vias, and it's your own, and you can put like whatever you want on there, say whatever you want. And I figured that was pretty valuable to the movement just because on Amazon there's tons of other things, little things popping up where you can buy other stuff totally just related to what we're really trying to push. So I thought, hey, that would be really cool if I could do that, and I already had like a certain model in mind for that. And yeah, so I came to you, I said, let's do it. And then I started working on it and then presented it to you, and you're like, this is pretty sweet. And then we went from there.
It was pretty smooth, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was really smooth. We didn't have
Yeah.
a we didn't have any problem with, executing it and making it happen. That was one of the things that I give to you on that because honestly, where I was at the truth movement was just to give you some background data. Maybe you don't even know because I don't think I told you this, but I was, what is it? You could say I was contracting a little bit because I didn't really know. Like I only was on Amazon, but I wasn't on other platforms. I had my first book on like many platforms, but it was being used in a way that it wasn't supposed to on those platforms, meaning that it wasn't being given the light of day necessarily. And when you reached out to me and you said, "Hey, look, let's create a website. Let's actually take this to the next level." I actually kind of, honestly, I was like, this is kind of nuts. Okay, kind of nuts. Don't really know where this is gonna go, right? And then I was like, okay, let's give him a shot. But I like the guy, so he's cool, right? And then so I was like, all right, cool. I like this man. Then that's what really got me started on it, because when you said, hey, I want to take it to the next level, I want to start a what you call a marketing funnel, which is basically like a click funnel. If
Yeah.
anybody's ever heard of that on here, when you said that you're going to start one with me, I had done some research in the past on it, but I wasn't like super knowledgeable on it. But you were just amazing at it, and you slam dunked it. And I just want to like commend you on that. You're amazing on that. I mean, geez. So thank you for that, Paul. That was awesome.
Yeah, of course.
So I have another question for you on top of that question, and that's how does marketing play a part in someone's purpose in life? There's a lot of people that are watching right now that may be in a funk right now amid the situation that we're having. We all have to be on, lockdown and stuff, But amid the situation, how does it play part in someone's purpose in life? Like, how does it do it?
Sure. Yeah. So what marketing is, just like one of the definitions, is creating like want or desire around something. So whatever your product is in life, let's say like no matter whether you're a business owner and have something that you're selling as in a product or a service, or even if are an employee or work somewhere, you have to like create want or desire around yourself and the things that you're trying to exchange with people for money or other valuables, right? So I think it's really important in like just understanding that in like the simple basics so that you can go out and then make sure that you have something that you can exchange with people and create desire around that and create like a want for that and a need for that. That's super important. So like let's say you're a business owner and you're trying to sell something that you're really passionate about. There's plenty of examples for that, but in your case too, you have this book, right? That's something, it's like your movement and something you're really passionate about, and you need to get this out to as many people as possible. So creating the want and desire around that and making sure it's available to people is just so important. And it's just one of like the integral parts of a business or getting anything out. So like I said, it applies to when you say your purpose, it's so true. Like whatever you want to do in life, you need to make sure that other people are going to get around that and going to get inspired by that and want to move with you and do business with you and do those things. So I think that's why it's really important, is just like getting your message across and making sure people can will latch onto that. And whether that's an individual product or a movement in your case, or you're just a person, it's so important on so many different ways. So yeah, that's how I would answer that best to my ability, for sure.
That's amazing. I like that actually.
Yeah.
I truly do. I mean, honestly, I think people underestimate the importance of marketing itself, because not a lot of people fully understand what marketing is, and you just explained it to them, which was perfect, because I think that's exactly what they needed. A lot of people out there are lost at the moment, and they had been lost before, or maybe they had been pretty well off. But marketing in itself, I mean, what happened to the project when you implemented marketing? It like took off. It took off like none other. I don't even think I would even have the thought of. I would have had the thought before you came along, marketing that heavily. Boom, 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 getting it out there. But there's a lot of noise out there, and I think we just need to blast that barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Totally.
is great. So um, I wanted to expand on that a second, because marketing plays a role in it. But I actually wanted to ask you a question on top of that, which is a website really important, and why?
Yeah.
Like, expand on that a little bit more, because yeah, marketing plays a part, but then there's also a website, in which is like what I think it is like it's a fundamental foundation part of the whole entire situation that we're dealing with.
Yeah. Well, I love that question because the traditional website is not what we worked on or what I built for you. Like, when I think of like the term website, I think of like, you go and there's a million things to click on and you can read the person's backstory and their about page and, all these things. like it's very hard to navigate. So when I was learning this subject, I was learning it in the sense of it's a certain special kind of website called a funnel, basically, and it's just very streamlined, very direct, and you only get the person who comes onto the page to do what you want them to do. There's no other vias or confusion. So like in your sense, that's what we had, which just get this book, and that's all there is to it, right? Um, and so anyway, I think that's so important. Like you need distribution in many ways, whether you have a storefront um, or your business is completely online. You need different ways to distribute your products and services and yourself. So a website or something online like that is just another way that you can do that and get that information out to people. So I think that's super important, and then especially doing it in the way that we did, where there's no confusion, no other things to click on. Just, hey, this is what I got for you, and this is why you should have it, and here it is. Just attract, interest them, and then deliver. So that's why I think it's so important. It's just another place for distribution, and whatever products or services you have, you need as many of those as possible. Just like when you say, like when you have word of mouth or something like that, that's just another way of distribution. Somebody's telling you or telling somebody else about your product. So if you have a storefront, that's one distribution. People have franchises all around the world. You know, those are other ways of distribution. You need to be online too, because a lot of people are online. So I think that's why it's super important.
I love that. I love that a
Yeah.
lot. It what you were saying about the website and stuff. Yeah, I mean it makes sense that not a lot of people would want to read all about you, like right when they know about you, they're like, I just want to find out what he does. I want the product like now. I mean, it's basically like something where it just jumps into their hands. um, I think the one thing I'll add on that is that yeah, there's a website is cool, right? But it's like what you did for the project was you had that funnel thing, which was great. Could you tell us more about that click funnel? I think that's what it's called, click funnel. Could you tell us
Yeah,
more
for
about
sure.
that and how that ties into what you were saying about the traditional website? And then there's a click funnel kind of nicer website where it's not really a website, but it's like a here's the thing, it jumps out at you, buy it now kind of deal.
Yeah, totally. So like basically the term funnel, it's not something that's necessarily new. Like it goes back for eons. It's just the different steps that somebody takes in order to get to your product or your service or to do business with you, right? So like in the beginning, they find out who you are, and then they do, like, you give them some value, maybe something for free, and then from there they want to buy this other thing that's like just a little bit of money, and then they start doing more and more business with you. It's just like different steps that somebody takes from becoming never seeing you before, and then becoming somebody who knows about you, and then eventually a buyer does more business with you, really trusts you, and wants to be a part of your community or your movement or whatever you're creating. So it's just those steps, and then what we do is I use a certain software. It's called ClickFunnels, and what it does is basically it puts that funnel or that pattern online through a series of web pages. So per for example, right, with your books, we have one page where somebody comes and it's like, hey, get this free book, right? Really simple. It's like we're trying to put value up front, and then from there they get taken to another page, which is like, hey, if you already are excited about this book, you can get the other books right now. So um, it depends on what business you have, how that looks. There's a lot of different strategies for creating that, but that's what the marketing funnel, when somebody says that, that's what that is. It's just all the certain steps that somebody needs to take in order to become like a buyer or do more business with you. It may look like just knowing about you, then giving them your email address, your contact info, buying something small, buying something bigger, right? And that's kind of the pattern and how it works. So yeah, anyway, it was really exciting with you because I had that idea. I was like, hey, we can do the free book, and then go into here are the other books that you can get, and it just worked out really perfect. So that's kind of what that is, and hopefully that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I love how you put that. It was really really good. It explained it to me a lot more because I can get lost up in other things, and I have a lot of things that do go on, and it's kind of cool to know that solid definition and that meaning of a split funnel and how you did it. which was
Yeah,
actually really, really cool.
and
So thank
and
you for
I'll
that.
yeah, totally, and I'll add something to that too in comparison to the website, like how we create these like web pages that say, hey, like we want one thing from you, right? We want your email address or we want your phone number so that we can contact you, and we'll give you this thing. We'll give you, hey, buy this thing for, just $8, and then buy this thing for $30, and so on, right? Like it's very like step by step, and just one. You're asking for one thing, whereas when you go to like a website, a lot of times business owners will be like, oh, I just want this beautiful website and it should look really nice and have all my information on it. But then a lot of the times your objective, like what you really want, that gets lost in all of the glamour or different things that you can click on. So I think that's really the comparing the two, and that's why it's so important. So I just wanted to add that too, because you said how does that compare to the website? So I wanted to tell you about that as well.
I love that.
Yeah,
I like how you added that little spice to it, which was nice.
totally.
It was good. I was like, actually, that was needed. That actually worked.
Yeah.
um, so on top of that, right, I did want to expand on that just a tad bit more with this next question, right? And it's, do you feel people should use funnels instead of standard websites? And of course, I think you've already explained the importance of a ClickFunnels, like in terms of how easy it is and how standard it is. But if you wanted
Yeah.
to touch on that again, as you're a professional on this and you know more than I do on the marketing, as you're a marketing professional, you know more. Um, but just expand on that a little bit more and give us more information about just why people should use funnels instead of standard websites.
Sure. So, like if somebody searches you into like on the internet, then it can make sense to have like a normal website kind of as like a catch-all. Like you have all these things on it. Let's say you have a product and you have a blog and a podcast and all these things, right? So in that sense, it can make sense to have a website as a sort of catch-all if somebody's searching you into the internet. But when you're trying to market a certain product, or you know let's say you're a business and you only have one product or service, then that the funnel would be how you're going to market that, how you're going to get people into that flow basically online of doing business with you. And if you have multiple products, then you can have multiple funnels for each product. Or if there's one thing that you're particularly pushing because it's like the best seller, or from surveys, it's the best thing that you have that people really like latch onto or want to buy, then it's just a good thing to have market that certain product or that service in that way so that you can get basically the most out of it rather than hoping that somebody stumbles onto the website and finds it and so on. And I'm sure like the people watching this, and probably you too, you've seen these things in action as a buyer. I know I have when I'm on Instagram or Facebook or some other website and then click on an ad and then I see like, oh, it wants me to do this, it wants me to do that, wants me to do that. So that's really important, I think, directing somebody like that when they weren't planning on going to your site already. But if they look you up online, then they probably already have something in mind that they want, maybe just to know more about you, or they say, hey, I've heard of this guy Ryan Prescott who has this awesome book, I want to look it up. So then they look it up and then they find it, right? So websites can be good as like sort of like a catch-all, but when you're trying to like exchange a certain product or service, it's so much better to have that funnel in place in order to do that, and then also to augment that with other. They bought this. Okay, now do you want this? It's something related, and that's just so important. Whereas that doesn't always happen. So yeah, that's one of the big things I would say. And then just as another point, when you're selling on Amazon, somebody goes and buys your book or your product, and right after that, they want to sell you other things that are disrelated from yours, right? Or they say, hey, people who also bought who or people who what's the thing that they say? They say people who bought this also bought these other things, and it's not even your product, right? So imagine if they're on your website, we can just send them all your stuff, right? So Amazon is great because it's 2-day shipping, and you can make sure that people can find your stuff easily. It's a great company, but at the same time, they're selling people things that aren't they're selling people things that aren't yours after the fact. So we want to do as much business with the person and give as much value as possible. So we need to make sure that we're the ones in front of them.
I love that. I love that a lot. I love your example about Amazon. That was perfect.
Yeah, of course.
I love that a lot. I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, we all deal with what is it, marketing in that way, of how to get how to get all your products to that other person, to your customer, to your client, to whatever, and whoever will get it and whoever wants it. Um, we all struggle through that. Hey, look, here's my first product. Okay, cool. Here's my second product. Here's my third product. But how to get that person all of the products all in one with the best value and the in a rapid fashion, and so that all of the lines are in and everything's perfect. So we all struggle with that, and I do appreciate you being there and actually taking this on, because you know more than um, you know basically anybody who uses websites and sells things, which is great.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. Thank you for that. I do appreciate you expanding on it too, because that didn't really make much. I mean, it really didn't make sense. When you were saying it, it was perfect. But then to me, when I was thinking about it before, it didn't really make much sense to me, because I was like, okay, well, I'm just your average Joe who's trying to get his products out there for the people that are interested. So Paul would know more about this than I would, kind
No,
of thing. So
sure.
thank you for that.
Yeah, that's,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Now, on to this subject here, I wanted to touch on what do you, like we've been talking about what people do with their websites, marketing in general on this interview. I did want to touch on what do you do with people in this area? Like, what do you do for people in this area?
Right. So basically, what I do with people is I speak to them and figure out what their purpose is. Really, that's really important to me. I wouldn't really want to work with just anybody. I like to um, work with people who are trying to do things that are pro survival or good and really like benefiting others. That's one of the reasons why I reached out to you. But I like working with these types of people, and then I figure out what their purpose is and what they really need, or what their product is, or what they need to get out to people in order to afford that purpose. And then I work with them to figure out how or what is the best way to get that out to people who is most likely going to respond to that, how we're going to attract those people, what is the method or the funnel for these people, what are the methods we're going to take in order to make them a buyer or make them part of the community, and then from there put that into actuality online with the actual sales funnel, the web pages and so forth. And then after that, once we have that installed, and there's like a lot of like different, there's copywriting and all this stuff, but really I don't like the person to worry about that. I just find out what's important to them, what their product is, what they're trying to get out, and then I figure out how or what is the best way to do that, and then create that for them. And then from there, once it's created, I work with them on how to get people to that web page or into that funnel. And that's one of the things that we worked on, like posting as much as you can on social media and leaving a link there. That's what really drove as many people there as possible. And then what other things can we do to make that happen, really? Because once the system's there, you just need people, right? You just need people. So there's social media, there's ads that we can buy, and all sorts of stuff. So that's really what I do, and it's just like a kind of if you had to like say like, yeah, it's a service, and I do it in sort of like a way of a program. Like, hey, these are the things that we're going to do step by step to make sure that you can get your product out there.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
thanks,
Thank
man.
you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, what you did for me in this area is unbelievable. I still have doubts on how I would have been able to do that. I still have, thoughts of like, there's no way I would have been able to do this, but you're definitely making a difference in this area. And I think a lot of people all of the viewers, the people that are watching right now, should understand that Paul has actually done a really amazing job. If you don't know what he's done for the project, I recommend you going to exposingcrimes.com. going to check out that website, see how just unreal the product is. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that good because I'm not used to how ClickFunnels come out, but I was actually pleasantly surprised about it. And because of Paul, I mean, we've reached a lot of people, and we'll continue to reach a lot of people. So definitely reach out to him. I'm going to go on to the next question, but before I do, I want to plug Paul in while we still have a lot of people on. His website is New Era mktg.com. Again, that's New Era mktg.com. I'm going to work with Paul on getting more and more people ClickFunnels that are humanitarians and that do a lot of good for people. I do know that Paul, is an incredible man, and I do know that he does do amazing products, and we just want to make sure that he is completely for humanitarians and people that actually do well and do good for society. And he's not here to spread information about drugs or anything that have to do with, contra survival things, which are bad things, and, just bad choices. So
Yeah,
definitely, I'll be working with Paul on that. Paul, you agree with that as well, I'm pretty sure.
totally.
Yeah, perfect. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, reach out to Paul. He'll totally set you up. Now, I do want to hear from your viewpoint, Paul. What do you think about the truth movement? Why was it important to help it?
Sure. Yeah. It's a beautiful movement, dude. So, um,
Thank you
as
for that.
like basically some background, as you are a Scientologist, I'm also a Scientologist, and so in that, when I saw that you were doing this project to spread some truth around that and other religions, and when I saw that happening, I really wanted to help that. And it was it's disappointing to me when I see lies spread around, or things that are untruthful or hurting people. I don't like that at all. So when I saw you doing something really, really awesome to stop that and to, put some like real data there for people looking for answers, for people with those confusions or wanting to get that handled or cleared up. That was really important to me. So I basically saw you doing that. I already knew who you were, right? Because we did volunteering together during a hurricane, and we were helping a bunch of people. So I knew you were somebody who really wants to help others. And so it was like really fast for me, right? It wasn't even a question. I was like, oh, that's what he's doing. Okay, I want to help him out with this. So I just created that, and then we worked a little bit on it together, and then that's where it was. So that's why it was really important to me. And then I've also seen the products from people who have read the book, and like, because I follow you on Facebook, right? So I always see the things that you share, the success stories, the wins, and that's like really awesome to me. And then also thinking just like, wow, that person, if they bought like the book from my funnel, my website, how cool is that, right? So um, that's what I say is super important to me. And yeah, like I commend you too on doing this, because I know it's not like easy. I know it's a lot of work, but it's really awesome.
Thank you, brother man. Thank you.
Yeah,
I call you brother man because it's respect.
yeah,
It's just
I like
I
that.
only call I only call the people who I respect, just FYI, as brother man. I don't like, I mean, that's just how it is. You just have to deal with
You don't brother man around.
it. But I also wanted to just say a little bit more on that, is that um, the truth movement wouldn't be where it is today without Paul and without people like Paul that put their lives on the line. And why? And I say that with the most respect and the most, what is it? How can I say this in a way that's understood? Um, the most commitment, the most knowledge, the most decency, kind of like putting everything on the line and making it happen. And not thinking otherwise. No hesitations, no reservations, just nothing, just making it happen. Paul's one of the people that I super rely on when I need something, or when I have a question on something, or I need some inspiration, or I need some pump up, or man, I'm just beating the ground, or I'm beating the brick wall right now, and I just need some push. Paul's one of the guys I reach out to, and I really do respect him a lot. And he does know how it is when you push that brick wall, and that brick wall is literally just hate and bigotry and all of the stuff that hasn't been handled in the past due to the reservations and considerations of people in the past that didn't know how to handle it, and it's not their fault. It's just they didn't know how to handle it. So we're having to handle it now, and Paul's one of the people that is making sure that occurs by making this website, by being there for the marketing, by ensuring that I have, the website put on all of the posts that have the successes because it needs to be up there for people to see. Um, there's stuff I need to correct, and that's totally fine, and I can correct it. And Paul's there for me 100%. But I do want to say one thing is that, what really changed throughout this project, it started from nothing, and now it's here. It's kind of like a Drake song, but it's, yeah, it's kind of like a Drake song, if you guys have ever heard of that artist. Paul has.
Yeah, I
But
got that one.
started from nowhere and got somewhere, and became something amazing. And it's because of the people that are behind the project. They don't have to like me. They don't have to like, anything that I believe in. They just need to know and be respectful and want to help. I can't, I'm not going to say that everybody needs to like me. It's not going to happen. I need people to understand that we're united on a purpose, and the purpose is bigger than any other problem right now to date. So when I put my successes out there from people that are literally using the books, and they're out there using the books right now, when you have these individuals that are out there just making stuff happen, making things go right with the books, and here are the books right here. I got like, see them all right here.
Nice.
When they're using these books, they can bring one out and use it and go, oh look, this is a book. Oh my gosh! And then they tell me what happened with the book. And what I do is I sometimes share the successes that are pretty like mind-boggling, and then I sometimes share the successes that are just somewhat normal. And then sometimes I tell you, hey, look, didn't really go well, but I have them public to where if you're not my friend on Facebook, then that's totally fine. You can watch that as well. I mean, you can listen to the successes. I'm going to come out with a podcast soon, so you guys will be able to do that as well.
That's gonna be
But Paul will be helping me with all of that. So I just wanted to plug that in so that you guys knew that I really do respect my supporters, and I really respect Paul, and I really value his opinion. I really value his expertise in things. So thank you, Paul.
Yeah, of course, dude. I'm excited for the podcast, and then we talked about some sort of webinars too. Not gonna say too much about that, but I'm super excited. You just got to drop the little hint.
Yeah, just like a little pen drop, I
Yeah,
love it. So that was that, and then I wanted to also touch on this point, and then we'll definitely go ahead and just call it. We'll just call it for today. But I definitely want to have you back, right? But here's what I want to have. I have a question for you.
yeah,
This is basically your time, right? We got some viewers on Facebook. I want to basically ensure that they know where to get the data from you, right? So where can someone get more information from you? Can you give them your information anywhere that they can go? Give them a little bit more information on what you do, and then yeah, we'll
good.
go from
So
there.
yeah, so basically, like I said, I want to help people who want to do, big things. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a movement like Ryan's, but who want to sell good products, service people well, and create things. And, people have more time to create than destroy. I want to help those people. So um, basically, I have different programs for the marketing funnels and for these special websites that I create. And then just depends on what you need help with. So you can reach out to me by going to neweramktg.com. That's just the abbreviation for marketing, MKTG. So neweramktg.com. And that basically has a program that I'm launching on Friday that people can be a part of. And it's super exciting. I'm super excited about it. It's called Online in 7. I've been working on this. And when Ryan told me that we were going to have this chat, I wanted to have something that I could offer everybody. So there's a program there called Online in 7, and basically, if you go ahead and put your information in, you can get all the data on that. Oh, I love that. You just put the link up. That's so cool. So yeah, that program is called Online in 7, and it's about taking your business, not the whole thing, but creating an online distribution point for your business in just 7 days. And I'm super excited about that. So all the information will get sent out to you if you put your contact info in, and then when it gets launched on Friday, you'll be the first to have access to that, which is super exciting. And it has like 4 different phases, and just to give you an idea, it's like a super awesome deal that I'm creating. Just to give you an idea, there's 4 phases, and just one of the phases, it costs less than one of the phases what it normally costs. So like if you can do that math, it's like less than a quarter, if that makes sense. But and you're going to get it all. And I wanted to do this because it's super important now. With people being in their homes and not being able to go out as much, I want to give people the ability to put something online, so where they can still be creating, still create income inflow for their businesses and for their life to have prosperity, and then also, regardless of the outcome, just anything that you can do right now to keep creating, keep pushing is super good. So I created that. You can go and get that at neweramktg.com, and you'll get all the information there. It also has my email and my phone number if you want to go ahead and send me give me a call or an email, or send me a text even. That's fine as well. So I'm there for anybody who wants to do big things, who wants to put their message out. Like I said, people who have more time to create than destroy. I love that. So that's pretty much it. That's everything that I have for you guys. So that's what I'm doing right now, and yeah, just helping people like Ryan to do good things. So that's pretty much it. That's what I would say.
I love it. I mean, honestly, I'm going to put one more communication up on the screen just to help everything out. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. There's that. So go ahead and reach out to Paul. The information's on the screen. Go ahead, and when you guys, this is probably going to be a replay because we're about to end it because I don't want to waste. I don't really want to burn up too much of Paul's time because Paul has a
This
busy
was super fun
day.
though.
But it was super fun, and I
I
asked
love
him a lot of questions. We're definitely going to have him back. Definitely going to have him back. That's like a guarantee. Paul, get ready. But I do really want to just stress on this point before we go ahead and go off is that amazing website of Paul's. It's exposingcrimes.com. That's something that you should definitely look into. You should get all of the 3 of the books. It supports Paul's drive as well. And just go ahead and really just push on that, and go ahead and just get the books. Just get the books. Look at the website, even if you don't get the books. Just look at the website. Look at his product, and really look at it and see the importance of it, because it's something that shouldn't be discounted for something else. Shouldn't be pushed aside. You should see it for yourself and kind of go, wow, I want a funnel just like that, or better. I don't know. You want to outdo me? Go for it. Paul will help you. Make it a game. Come on. And if you guys have any questions about Paul, I mean, really, just reach out to him, man. He's an amazing fellow. Super great being. Super great person. Help you all the way. Won't even give up.
Thank you.
Trust me, he won't give up. I've tried it. I've tried to run away. It didn't happen. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I do want to say one thing is that before we end off, thanks so much for joining in. Thanks so much for listening. Paul's at his website, at that website right there, neweramktg.com. Exposingcrimes.com is my website. Go ahead and check it out. Thanks so much for joining on in. Adios, Paul. Thanks so much. We're going to end it here, okay, man?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty. Talk to you soon.